Hi everyone, good evening. Good evening everyone. Good evening to your own channel 8th, 9th and 10th, BYJU'S. How are you all? A warm welcome to each one of you. Hi Anushka, SS Gamer, hi Aditi, Disha, Arjot, good evening. Janani, Jaykumar, Dhruv, Anushka, Raj, Charvi, Gungun, Sandhya, Suhani, Sia, Harshini, Vishnu, Mayank. Good evening, everyone. So good to see you all here. Hi, Papya. Hi, Sri Lekha. Hi, Shraddha. Hi, Ashwarya. Hi, Tanishka. Good evening, everyone. The chat should not stop, right? Good evening, everyone. Today is a very big day for all of us, right? A very big day for all of us. So today's session is really very special because it's a marathon, right? When we talk about marathon, we know we have seen so many marathons, of course, I'm sure. So, but this is a very unique marathon, right? It's a bio marathon, and we'll be learning about the 3 important chapters. Not learning, I would say. We'll be quickly recapping about the important topics that we have already studied. And of course, we'll be discussing about some of the important questions. Easy? Right? Happy birthday! Happy birthday, Disha. Thank you, Vaishnavi. Hi, Sukhjot. Hi, Unique Girl. Hi, Raj, Anand, Divyanshi, Sharad, Justin. Yes, Hindi mein baat karenge. We'll do that also. Hi, Shrishti. Yes, everyone. So on that note, good evening to each one of you who are there with us in the class. And ask your friends to join the session. We'll be starting in a while. So today's session, as I've already mentioned, it's all about all-in-one biology marathon, right? And we'll be discussing about all the chapters, the 3 chapters and important questions. So I'm sure that all of you are really very excited for an amazing session. I would request all of you to sit with a water bottle in between, right? Very important. Have a water bottle with you. I have mine. Have a notebook with you and a pen also, so that you can note down all the important points that we will be discussing. Hi Atif, hi Mannat, hi Sonali, hi Swarna. Yes Anishka, yes. Hi Abhishek. Hi Monisha. Super excited? Me too. Hi Sanjana, Abhishek, Siddharth. Awesome everyone. But before we start the session, right, let's quickly clap for our homework rock stars. Yes? So in the last session of our environment, we asked a question on, we have to basically find the percentage, right? It was a 10% law energy law question. Of course, we have the answers with us. And you know what? I'm so happy to say that, you know how many comments we got? 61 of you basically have wrote the answer. That really means a lot. That actually shows that after the session, you actually take some time and write the answer. That's really very good. So let's quickly take the name, and I want to see the chat flooded with the claps, right? Come on. Let's clap for our friends. So we have Kathiravan, we have Charvi, Disha, Aditi, Gungun, Muskan, Rohit, Anushka. We have Ayush, Nikesh, Charvi, Alicia, Shakti, Aditi, Avinash, Puneet, Ritika, Sonali, we have Harsh, Pari, Sakshi, the Rion player, we have Diksha, Learning with Ishu and Astha, Priyanshu, we have Munalal, we have Amit, Lavya, Shreyas, and Sabir, Shivam. Interesting, congratulations! And yeah, thank you so much for writing the answer. That means a lot. Okay. Now that we are through with it, let's quickly dive into our session, right? Let's quickly start our class, everyone. I hope that all of you are charged and are ready for it. So, let's start with our class, okay? Hi, Lochin. Okay, now I want all of you to come back, right? Hi, Unnati. Your attention back over here to the class, right, everyone? It's a marathon, so we don't want to take much of your time, right? So if we finish this fast, we can go home aram se, Right? So I want all of you to participate with us and I want you to answer it. Super excited? Drums roll. And let's start, everyone. So we know that in term 2 examination, we have 3 chapters. We have how do organisms reproduce, we have heredity, and we have our environment. We are starting with the first chapter, that is how do organisms reproduce. Okay? Let's start with the first chapter. This is really very important. So if we start with it, we know what is reproduction. We know that reproduction is a process of producing offspring that are biologically or genetically similar to the parent organism, right? We are clear with this? We know what reproduction is. In reproduction, we'll be seeing the parent will be producing the offspring which will be genetically or biologically similar to the parent. And over here we have the importance of it. So the importance of reproduction is that it will be producing the variation in the species and that will be leading to the evolution process. We have different species because of the variations. Then of course it actually helps in maintaining the continuity of the species. When we have this, right, reproduction happening, we'll have the species going on, and we have the last point, which is reproduction actually helps the species to prevent from the extinction. If there's no reproduction happening, the species can go extinct if all species die, right? So this is why the reproduction is important, and I'm sure all of us as of now are aware about the importance of reproduction. It's a very, very important question. I can see the answers over there. Shraddha will be taking up that question. Yes. Thank you, Shashank. Thank you. Right? Session time, we are starting at 6, right? We started at 6. So let's see. Let's see. I'm sure you're attending the other classes, right? Of Khushbu ma'am, Saurav sir and Kriti ma'am. So the classes will be approximately that same time. Yes, but let's quickly start and we'll plan to finish this session as soon as possible with your help. Okay. So everyone, are we clear with this? It's a very easy concept. Will not be taking much of your time. Right? Keep the chat active. I would request all of you not to spam. If you have any doubts, you can write it. Or you can share, give me a thumbs up or a smiley so that I know that you are there with me. Right? Okay. Moving from here, let's discuss about the types of reproduction we have. And this is nothing. There's no big science. It's like nothing, right? It's like breathing. We know that there are 2 different types of reproduction, sexual reproduction and asexual reproduction. We have these points. We know that in asexual reproduction, only 1 parent is involved, and asexual reproduction, 2 parents. Second point, talk about the gamete formation. In asexual reproduction, gametes are not involved, right? There's no formation of the gametes, whereas in sexual reproduction, gametes are involved. Third point is really very interesting because in asexual reproduction, we will not see any variation. But in sexual reproduction, we will see the variation. Yes, Shrishti will be answering that question on the vegetative propagation. Give me a minute. Yes? It's okay, Hari Murli. Welcome to the class. Okay, so are we clear with this? We have discussed about the difference between sexual and the asexual reproduction. Now let's quickly move to the different types of asexual reproduction modes that we have in our textbook. So we have the fission, we have budding, right? We have the fragmentation, we have regeneration, we have spore formation, and then of course we have the vegetative propagation. Yes, so we have these things. Just remember all of these names. Now let's quickly discuss about each of these. Now I want all of you to pay attention over here. Very quickly, we are quickly recapping about the different types of asexual mode of reproduction. Shrishti, I will answer your question. Right? Yes, you need to wait for a while, bache. Anand, yes, we'll be discussing about it. Okay. Yes, let's go for it. Go for it, right? Fission, what will happen? Nothing but the splitting into the parts. Fission means splitting into the parts. We have 2 types of fission. We have binary fission and we have the multiple fission. First, let's talk about the binary fission, where we'll see the formation of 2 cells, 2 daughter cells, right? We have a cell. First, of course, the nucleus will divide, right? And then, of course, the cytoplasm will divide and we will have the 2 daughter cells. Easy? Very easy, right? So, in binary fission, we'll get 2 daughter cells. Namaste, Roop. Right, very good. Atif will be talking about the meiosis and mitosis. Give me a while. Monisha, tissue culture will also come. You just need to wait for a few minutes. Okay. Another type of the fission we have is a multiple fission, where of course we'll see more than the formation of two cells. That's why it's called as the multiple fission. So what will happen? The common example that we usually talk about is of the plasmodium, and over here we talk about the amoeba. So what happens in the plasmodium? Can anyone write me? Write it down in the chat box. Quickly write it down in the chat box. You can write the answer I'm about to speak, right? Multiple fission happens in plasmodium. Very good. Right, what happens in that? There is a protective sheet, right? And of course, inside it we have multiple nuclei, right? We have multiple nuclei, and this is the cyst that we have. Inside the cyst we have multiple nuclei, and as the condition become more favorable, we will see the bust of the cyst, and it will release the multiple nuclei, and we will see these nuclei right over here will settle down, and of course we will see the formation of new organism, right? Very simple process of binary fission and the multiple fission. Very good, Sonali. Due to this, malaria is caused. Absolutely correct. Very good, Shraddha, that the cyst formation occurs in the unfavorable condition. Awesome. Very good, Hazel. Yes. Very good, Virendra. Anirudh, yes. Harita, yes. Very good, Plan. Parent cell cyst formation, rupture of cyst, daughter cells. Awesome. Great. Okay, now that we are clear with the fission part, let's quickly talk about the easiest and one of my favorite, in the examination especially, it's the budding. Now, budding we usually see in Hydra. In our textbook, we have the example of yeast also. So you can remember both of these, right? What happens? We will see the formation of the bud. The bud will grow, right? And eventually, on upon the maturation, the bud will detach itself from the parent's body. And of course, it will stick onto a substance, right? Substrate, like anything that can provide it a surface. And of course, it will grow. Yes? Abhi Aditya will be discussing about vegetative propagation in a minute. Are we clear with this? Budding, easiest of all. So, put a star mark because it's really very important, right? Very good. So, we are clear with this. All the best for your exam. Yes. Okay, so in yeast also what will happen? We have the yeast, right? Slowly we'll see the bud formation growing, and it will grow upon maturation, and once it is there, it will be just, detaching itself, and of course we have the new organism. Very clear. Okay. Now, there's a very common question that we have a confusion between, we have it usually in the fragmentation and the regeneration. So, next topic is about the fragmentation. So, can anyone tell me about the fragmentation? Fragmentation, we know that we see in the Spirogera, right, where upon the maturation, Spirogera will break into many fragments, right? It will just break into many fragments, and each of these fragments will develop into a new individual, right, like this. So over here, upon maturation is important thing, and they will break themselves. This is really very important. Now, that's all about the fragmentation, right? There are few students who have a doubt with the fragmentation, so I hope that all of the doubts are clear, right? Remember the example of it. Unnati will discuss about it. Yes, we'll discuss about so fragmentation and the regeneration is over here. Mitosis and meiosis, haploid and diploid, we'll discuss in a while. Okay? Now, let's talk about the regeneration. Yes, Naveen. Yes, we'll be discussing about the regeneration now. Now, what happens in regeneration? Anyone can tell me what happens in regeneration? In regeneration, what we see? In regeneration, we see that the planaria, right, will be cutting itself by an accident. If there's an accident, if there's some unfavorable condition, this will be cutting into the different pieces, and each of these pieces will be developed into the new organism. This is really very important. Now, one thing we have to remember is that regeneration is not the primary method of asexual reproduction, right? Yes, it's not the primary method. It's not that these all the organisms will be opting for this method of regeneration. Yes? It is only certain conditions. For example, if there's an accident with the organism, if there's a cut, we will see the regeneration process happening. Yes, we see in the Hydra also. Absolutely correct, right? We have the Hydra and budding, and of course, these are the asexual mode of reproduction we see in different organisms altogether. When we talk about it, we usually talk about the regeneration of tail in the lizards, right? And a small arm in the starfishes. So are we clear? Yes? Are we clear, everyone? Quickly a thumbs up about regeneration and fragmentation. It's a really very easy topic. I don't want you to get confused. Hi Khushbu, hi Sneha. Yes, very good Gauri. Crystal clear, very good. I can see a lot of thumbs up over here. Very good Shraddha, reformation happens in regeneration, absolutely correct. The difference between the regeneration and the fragmentation is about, first of all, we are saying that we will be able to see a complete organism, right, when we talk about it. But regeneration is not the primary mode of reproduction, okay, whereas fragmentation is. And of course, you can mention about the organisms over here, planaria and the Spirogera. Awesome, I can see a lot of silvers. So from my side, everyone, a laddu to you. Like, we will be eating a lot of sweets today. So, a laddu to all of you, right? Enjoy a yummy, yummy sweet laddu. Okay, Janani, fission means splitting, fusion means meeting, okay? When we talk about the fusion of gametes, we are saying that they are meeting. So, I hope that you got it. Okay, awesome. I can see thumbs up. Yes, Sneha, we have just discussed it over here. Awesome. Why multicellular organisms? Shraddha, they do go. For example, we have the, in terms of reproduction, of course, it's very complicated to replicate and regenerate all the cells. That's why we don't see it. But the especially small parts, we will be able to see in the multicellular organism. For example, we have lizard and the starfish are the examples. Cool, everyone. Sunita, the session will be depending upon you guys, how long we want to take it, right? So, let's just see. We have the time till 8, I believe. Okay? Awesome. Now, everyone, moving to the next, we have the spore formation. Again, it is really very important, spore formation, right? We usually see it in the fungi, on the bread with the rhizopus, right? Right over here, rhizopus. And of course, this is a very important concept from the exam point of view. We have the sporangium right over here. Inside the sporangium, we have the spores, and the spores will burst, and of course, they'll be releasing these spores. And as these spores will be settling on a moist surface, they will be growing. Yes? Are we clear? Over here, they have the hypha, which is a vegetative part, and on top of it, we have the sporangia or the sporangium. Are we clear? Yes? Somia, fragmentation occurs, right, when the organism upon the maturation will break into the several pieces. And of course, as several parts, and each of the part will be growing into a new individual, and we usually see it in the Spirogera. Awesome. Very good, Sneha. Abhiyaditya, just wait for some time. We will be discussing about all of these topics. So today is all bio, so we will not be missing any topic. Hypha hazel means this particular stalk-like structure, right, that you see, which will be attached to the sporangia. Very good, Sanjana. Yes. Very good. The vegetative part in the spores we have is the hypha, okay? The hypha is the vegetative part. Jasnoor, the vegetative part is the hypha. Okay? Awesome. Are we clear with this? Right? Are we clear with this? Parts of rhizopus, see over here. We talk about it. This is the sporangium, right? Inside it we have the spores, and over here we have the hypha. Awesome. Clear? Very good. Now we are moving to the vegetative propagation. We have to be really very quick, right? We have to be very quick about it. And let's talk about the vegetative propagation. Many of you are asking about it. So in vegetative propagation, we know that the reproductive parts are not involved, right? Over here, flowers are not involved. The other different parts of the plant like root, stem, leaves will be helping in the generation or the formation of a new plant, right? So over here, we have the definition of the vegetative propagation. In vegetative propagation, new plants grow from the fragments of the parent plant, right? or form a vegetative part of the parent plant. Easy? Yes? Okay. Hi Lavya. Mold, right? We usually call it as mold also. Shraddha, hypha is a vegetative part because it's not helping in the reproduction process. It is just supporting it. Okay? Bread mold. Yes, very good. So over here we have the parent plant. Of course, it will be fragments of different plants, and of course it can grow into a new plant. This is right. Easy, right? Everyone, yes, it's a marathon for biology, right? We have all the chapters of bio, be it heredity, environment. After this, we'll be moving to the heredity. So stick with us, right? Be there on the channel and learn with us. Okay? Okay, everyone. So are we clear with this part? We are clear with the definition of vegetative propagation. Now let's quickly discuss about the types, right? So of course, we have the natural and the artificial type. Now natural, of course, will be happening naturally, right? We know this is very obvious. We have these parts. We have root, stem and leaf. So let's quickly discuss about the roots and its example. Examples are really important. I want all of you to answer me very quickly. How we will see the vegetative propagation happening through roots? Can you give me one example? Very quickly, everyone. Hi Shrishti, hi Hari Murli, okay, hi Dipali. Layering is, yes, it can come in the question. Definitely it can come in the examination. Shraddha, the reproductive part, right, which actually help in the reproduction process is the sporangium, right, because it has the spores inside it. Very good. I can see the sweet potato and the turnips over here we have. So what will happen? There's a bud formation, and of course, if you keep the bud into the soil, we will see the formation of a new plant, right? Over here we have the new plant with us. So the answer is you can remember about the sweet potato, carrot and many more, right? We have a long list of it. Moving to the stem, we have potato and onions. We have, I'm sure you must have seen the potatoes as your home, right? They will have those small bud. If you take it, if you put it inside the soil, you'll be able to see the plant growing out of it. It's like the magic which is happening every day at our places, right? Anirudh have answered your question. The reproductive part in spore is the, in the spore formation is the sporangium. Awesome. I can see the answers. The example of the vegetative propagation through the stem is potato and the onions. Very good. Moving to the leaves, we have only one example. We have one more example. We have two examples. We have bryophyllum and we have the begonia, right? Over here. And this is how we will be getting the plants. Okay. So Honey is mentioning about one more plant. That's amazing. Very good. I'm so happy. I want to jump. I'm so happy right now that you guys are doing really very good. You are 100% prepared. That just gives me a lot of excitement. Very good, everyone. Very good. Awesome. Yes. Now that we are clear with it, let's move to the artificial, and then of course we'll be discussing about the advantages and the disadvantages of the vegetative propagation. Now, natural was happening naturally by the different parts, right? And of course, in artificial, what we'll have? We'll have intervention of the humans. Now, we will be going out there and helping the plants to reproduce, right? So, of course, in that we have different techniques. We have these 4 techniques with us. We have grafting. What happens in grafting? Can someone write it over there quickly? I'll give you a hint over here. In grafting, there is 2 parts involved. Can someone tell me what I'm talking about? Stalk and no issues. Tanushree, welcome. Nishit, you can find that answer. It's really very easy. That's a very good question. I can see the answers. Very good. Stalk and scion, right? So there are 2 parts are involved. We have the part which you take from the lower part, right? And we have the scion. Once we have these 2, if we club it together, we'll call it as the grafting, right? And due to grafting, actually, we can get a lot of hybrids. Okay, tell me, raise your hands. How many of you love mangoes? Right? I had mango today. Like, I was eating mango with my lunch. Like a sweet. How many of you like mangoes, right? And you know what? There are so many hybrids of mangoes. And how we get this hybrid? Of course, one of the easiest method is with the help of the vegetative propagation, and that too by the grafting. Yes, mango lovers in the class, yes. So many of us love mangoes. As a fruit, it's really very tasty. I like the mango shake also. Awesome. Very good. Okay, so remember the example, right everyone? Grafting. We can get it. Of course, we can see in the roses also, right? Then comes the second part, which is the layering. We have discussed about the grafting. Now moving to the layering. Now layering is easy. Remember the name, jasmine flower, right? Jasmine plant. We'll be taking a branch, right? We'll be digging it a little bit of hole in the soil. We'll be putting up the plant, right, in this particular way. We will cover up with the soil, and of course eventually after some time we will see the growth of the roots, and of course from there we will see a new plant. So layering is really very easy, right? Then we have the cutting, right? Cutting again we usually see in the roses. We can easily see this, right, in the roses. We'll be cutting a part, and of course we will be planting it, and we'll be able to get it. We can do it, the cutting process, with the money plant also. Yes? Yes. Now we in stalk and scion, right, are two different parts of a two different plant altogether, right? We'll be taking up these the two different parts, and we'll be grafting them together, mixing them together. Okay. And then we have the last one, that is a tissue culture. Now tissue culture in your textbook have just not mentioned in detail, but it's really very important, right? Let's quickly talk about the tissue culture. Now in tissue cultures, what happened? Yes, Jagrati, we are talking about this, right? Micropropagation. So in tissue culture, what we see, we will be taking up different parts of the tissues, right? We will be putting them into the sterilization medium. We'll be adding then into the nutrient medium, right? And of course from there, we will be seeing the growth of the callus, right? We will see the growth of the callus, and eventually this callus will be placed into the more nutrient medium, will be provided with the hormones and other nutrients, and we'll see the plants growing. Very good, very good. I can see a lot of answers. Micropropagation, you're talking about the plant. Very good. Yes, we can get it. Yes, very good, Disha. Yes, from the nutrient medium to the hormone medium, we'll be giving the plants hormones. So there's a difference between the grafting and layering. In grafting, of course, we need two different plants, right? In layering, only one plant will be able to help us. Very good. Agar is a nutrient medium. Absolutely correct. Are we clear with this part, everyone? Are we clear with the part of the vegetative propagation and in general the asexual reproduction? Now, there are two important questions I want to address now. First, what is the advantages of the vegetative propagation? Yes, Arshita. Now, the advantage of vegetative propagation is that we can actually get the desired plant species, right? For example, if we want to mix two different types of plants together, we can easily get it, right? So, it's really very helpful in that particular way. Now, the disadvantages when we talk about, the disadvantages are not so high as compared to the advantages. The only disadvantages that, that can occur is that, we might change different types of plants, right? We might change the pure plant breed. So, eventually, if we are mixing two different types of species, we can see we might lose a pure breed, but that's a very long far idea, right? Usually, vegetative propagation has a lot of advantages, especially the artificial vegetative propagation. So, are we clear? Less time consuming, absolutely correct. Disease-free plants, very good. Seedless fruits, short time, hybrid variety or ornamental plants, absolutely correct. Okay, I can see one common doubt. Layering and cutting, of course in cutting we are cutting the plant, right? We are not working on the same plant, we are cutting a part of the plant and then planting it in the soil. Whereas in layering we are using the same plant, we'll be putting that plant under the soil for a while, and of course from there we'll be able to see the new growth. Are we clear, everyone? Hi Sebastian. Not at all, half an hour just. So we started with the reproduction process. We are done with the asexual reproduction, and now we're moving to the sexual reproduction. So yeah, a little bit you have missed, you can always come back and watch it. Everyone, quickly. So are we clear? Give me a thumbs up. Quickly, quickly. A thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, and we're moving to the next part of the chapter. Right, that is the asexual. That is a sexual reproduction. Very good. We have to be really very quick. Very good. Yashrat, how are you? Khushi, Srilekha, Disha. Lots of thumbs up. Awesome. Gungun, Priyanshi, Diya, Imaya, Varuna, Ekta, Jugati, Anshita, Mosam, Jeevni, Nikita, SS Gamer, Shamadhani, Ashok, Khushi. Awesome. Let's quickly move to the sexual reproduction, and of course we know that in sexual reproduction there's the involvement of the two parents. Two parents are involved, gametes are formed, and we will see the variation. We will definitely see the variation. Now, let's talk about the sexual reproduction in the flowering plants. So over here we'll be quickly discussing about the beautiful structure of flower. Now, you quickly tell me about the reproductive part of a flower. So we know that there are 4 whorls or the important parts, right, in the flower. Quickly tell me the 2 important parts, right, male and female reproductive part. Very good, Sanjana. Stamen and carpel. Very good, Jagrati. Very good, Charvi. Bilab, Monisha, Preetam, Harimurli, Hazel, Disha, Afzal, Atif, Suhani, Nisha. Very good. So, let's talk about the structure of the flower, right? We have the sepals, which are green color part, petals, the beautiful bright colors. They are not the essential whorl. We have the stamen, which has the anther, where we will see the formation of the pollen grains, and of course we have the filament, which is attached to the anther. Then we have the pistil, and pistil comprise of the stigma, style, and ovary and ovule. These are the female reproductive parts. Now that we are clear with this is the structure of flower. Now let's talk about the important thing about the pollination. A very, very important question from the exam point of view. The transfer of pollens from one flower to another is called as pollination, right? Very good. Androecium, gynoecium, very good, Yashrat. Yes? Then there are 2 different types of pollination. We have self-pollination, same flower pollination, right? The anthers, right, will be releasing pollen grains, and pollen grains of a same flower will be sitting on the stigma of the same flower. Okay, that is self-pollination. And then we have the cross-pollination. So the pollens of one different flower moving to the different flower stigma, right? So we have 2 different types of pollination, self and cross-pollination, right? This is a very easy topic. I'm sure you are clear with it. Very good, Hari Murli. Filament is actually there to support the anther. Very good, very good. Awesome. Claps for all of us. Now that we are clear with the pollens, right? Now we are clear with what pollination is, where the pollens are produced, right? Let's talk about the fertilization process ahead. What happens during the fertilization? Let's quickly look into it. The movement, the pollen grains drops onto the stigma. We will see the formation of the pollen tube. You can see, can you see the pollen tube over here? Yes? We have filament in physics and bio too, so don't get confused. Very good, Disha. Yes. Okay, so we have the pollen tube, right? And of course, this pollen tube is carrying the male gametes. Can you see over here, right? And of course, we have the style, and over here we have the ovary. So of course, we will see the growth, right, of the pollen tube, and along with that, we will see the movement of these male gametes. These male gametes will be moving towards the ovary, right? Over here we have the pollen tube, we have the ovary and the ovule. It will be reaching the ovule, right? And of course, we will see the process of fertilization. Absolutely correct, double fertilization. Very good. I'm so proud of you all. In fertilization, we'll see the fusion of the male gamete with the egg, and that will form the zygote. We call it as the fusion, right? We call it as a fusion. Then, right, we call it as a fusion. And what will happen to this male gamete? This male gamete will also be moving inside and will be fusing with these nuclei over here. So it has 3 nuclei and they will be forming the endosperm. So male gamete plus egg cell will be forming the zygote, which is called as the fertilization or syngamy. And male gamete and polar nuclei will form the endosperm. right? And we have 2 fertilization. That's why we call it as a triple fertilization. Are we clear? Simple, it's very simple. Let me explain you once again. One male gamete fusing with egg cell, we will see the formation of zygote, right? Zygote. This is the first fertilization. Okay. Second fertilization is happening where the male gamete is fusing with the polar nuclei and it will be forming the endosperm. So 2 times fertilization is happening. That's why we call it as the double fertilization. Are we clear? Yes, Dhruv, yes, it will have 3 nuclei. Male gametes are motile, but why not females? So female gametes are usually larger in the size, that's why, right? We will see much more the movement of the male gametes as compared to the female in the nature. Okay, are we clear, everyone? Why double fertilization? Because we will see that in plants, we specifically talk about the flowering plants, 2 times fertilization is happening. Endosperm is the formation, right? Of course, it forms after the male gamete fuses with the polar nuclei. Endosperm will be providing the nutrition, right, to the developing zygote. Are we clear? Yes, Shashank have explained that part. 2 fertilization because that's how the flowering plants work. It has 2 male gametes and that's why the 2 fertilization are happening. One with the egg cell and one with the polar nuclei. Are we clear? Very good. Very good. We call it as a triple fusion because, why we call it as a triple fusion? Over here in the endosperm, right, male gamete is there. Okay? Then we have 2 polar nuclei and nucleus and 1 nucleus from the male gamete. So there is a triple fusion. 3 nucleus are fusing together. Fusion is happening, coming together. Okay? Awesome. Lots of thumbs up. Lavia has just explained the polar nuclei. Thumbs up, thumbs up. So polar nuclei basically are formed, right, during when this whole cell is forming, right, this whole ovary structure is forming. We will see different cells all together and during the divisions of it, this is how these are placed. You will be learning about that in your class 12. Awesome. Now after the fertilization is done, we will see the formation of the fruits, right? We will see the formation of the fruits and ta-da! Over here we have, right, petals, sepals, everything will fall off and eventually we will see the formation. Now, can you tell me how the seeds are formed? Yes? Over here we have the seeds, right? How the seeds are formed? And then we have the fruit. So, can you tell me how the seeds are formed and the fruit? We know that the ovaries will be growing and will be forming the fruits, whereas the ovules will be becoming the seeds. So, ovules will develop into the seeds and the ovary will be developing into the fruit. One should not have any confusion over here. This is a very, very important concept. Germination we don't have, but germination is nothing where the seed, right, will be growing, giving the proper favorable conditions. Over here we have the seed, right? See over here. This is a dicot seed. It has 2 cotyledons. Right? And of course, we have the plumule that will be growing into the stem and to the radicle that will be growing into the roots. And over here, we have the cotyledons. Are we clear? Yes? Angiosperm is a type of flowering plant, right? They are the flowering plants. Lavia and endosperm is the formation that will be happening inside after the fertilization process that will be providing the nutrition. So that's the difference between these two. Plumule, Sonali, will be developing, basically it's a part over here which will be developing into the stem. Okay? Germination, Sebastian, is nothing but where, given the favorable condition, the seed will grow. Very good. Plumule is a future shoot and radicle is a future root. Are we clear? And we know that slowly, the plant will grow, given the right amount of nutrient, water, and this is how the plant will grow. Yes? Okay. Awesome. I can see a lot of questions, kids. I want all of you to focus here, right? Be there with us when we are studying. If you have missed something, you can go back and see. Very good, very good. So I can see one important thing, that why we see the triple fusion and syngamy in flowering plants, because they have the reproductive parts, right? They have the flower. We can see the fusion happening. Very good. Okay, are we clear, everyone? Syngamy means Nishit, it's the fusion of the male gamete of in the that is a pollen grain, right? Male gamete which has a two male gamete, one of the fusion with the egg cell, and that will be forming the zygote. Yes, Anirudh? Great. Awesome. Now, let's quickly move to the sexual reproduction, everyone. A thumbs up, everyone. A smiley for each one of us. We are doing amazing. Time is running, everyone. 40 minutes up, and we are still have to discuss a very important topic, the sexual reproduction in the humans, from where we'll be getting a lot of questions, right? Asexual reproduction is not a slow process, but it's a very fast process. Within few minutes, right, we'll see the population growing. Okay. Now, I can see, Sebastian, you're asking a question. Yes, it can come for 5 marks, but usually they'll be breaking it up in 3 or 2 marks. But this time, you don't have 5 marks question. You have 2 marks, 3 marks, and 4 marks. Okay. Now, we'll be discussing about the reproduction in the humans, right? We know that in humans, you will see that there's a growth of the baby in the mother's womb, right? And of course, it will take up to 9 months, right? And of course, humans reproduce sexually. There are involvement of the 2 gametes. Again, someone quickly write about the puberty. Puberty. So, the early endosperm is formed in the triple fusion, where the male gamete will be fusing with the polar nuclei. Yes, Hari Murli, let's not spam. Yes? Very good, Disha. Right? Quickly, everyone, can you tell me? Can you write about the puberty? Quickly, what is puberty? Right? A period, very good, Sebastian, a period when the rate of the general growth slow down, or we'll see various different changes in the human body, right? Especially in the teenage, adolescents, right? Very good. Now I can see the answers. So in puberty, we'll see there's a lot of changes happening in the body, be it the physical or the internal changes, right? So a period when the rate of the body generally becomes slowed down, yes. But apart from that, reproductive tissues become mature, and we call it as a puberty. Yes, and we usually see this in the adolescence age. Now there are some general changes we see, right? Of course, you all are aware about it because this we have discussed it. It's a really very important question, that there will be the growth on the body, there will be the genitals, both in the male and female will become darker, and of course there will be skin will become more and more oily. Now if we talk about these specific things, right, we have growth of the facial in the body here, which is common, right? Then we have in male specifically, body will become more and more muscular. There will be cracking of the voice. The voice will become more, deep pitched, and there will be the enlargement of the penis, and there will be the production of the testosterone. This is the male hormone. So these are the changes that we will be seeing in the males. Are we clear, everyone? Yes, you will get this. Moksha, you will be getting this, right? Very good. Yes. Very good. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, so we'll be seeing a lot of changes. Okay, so that's in the males, and let's talk about the females, right? So in females, we'll see the production of the estrogen, right, which is a female hormone. We'll see the onset of the menstrual cycle in females. We'll see the starting of the menstrual cycle. There will be enlargement of the breast, widening of the hips. So these are some of the common changes that we'll be seeing in the male and in the female. Are we clear, everyone? Quickly. Yes. Very good, very good, very good. So are we clear? Yes, if this particular question comes for 1 mark, you can mention about the body hair growth, the growth of the genitals, right? The change in the voice, and of course the release of the different hormones. Kavya, I think I've answered your question. Chat is now running. We don't have Menti today. We don't have Menti today. Yes. Vishal, you will be getting this. Okay? Awesome. Now that we are clear with this, let's quickly discuss about the reproduction system, right? So we have the sexual reproductive system, we have male and the female reproductive system, right? And we'll be discussing about the male reproductive system first. Yes. Good evening, everyone. Those of you who are joining us right now, good evening to each one of you. Progesterone will also be produced, the snood, yes. It is also produced. It plays a very important role in the pregnancy. Okay? So, let's discuss about the male reproductive system. We'll be discussing about the placenta, Smriti. Just give me a while. Yes. Okay? So over here we have the male reproductive system. Vishal, from the link only you'll be able to get it. So just, we can discuss it after the class, right? It's okay, Hari Murli, no issues. You're back on the track. That's amazing. Okay. So we have the male reproductive system, right? Over here we have the different parts. Now, where we'll see the formation of the sperms. Can someone tell me in the chat box? Chitra, oogenesis is the formation or the whole process by which we'll see the formation of the egg. Yes, very good, testis. Very good, everyone. So the testis will be seeing the formation of the sperms. We have a tube, which is the vas deferens, which will be carrying the sperms from the testis. Then we have the epididymis, and then this vas deferens will be carrying it to the glands, the accessory glands. We have the seminal vesicle gland and the prostate gland, right? It will be carrying to the urethra and then towards the penis. It's a very, very easy pathway. Now, if you talk about it, it's a very common question, right? That why the testis is present outside the body, right? Varuna, the function of the vas deferens is to carry the sperms away from the testis towards the urethra. Yes, we'll be practicing the questions also. So yeah, we have to finish this quickly, everyone. So we know that testes are located outside the abdominal body. Why they are located? And they are located inside the bag-like structure, the sac-like structure called as the scrotum. And we have the scrotum so that it can actually help in providing the lower temperature. And this lower temperature is important for the production of the sperms. Very good. To maintain the lower body temperature, because the formation of the sperms, right, require a less temperature than the body temperature. So if the body has a 37 degrees temperature, usually the scrotum will have about 35 degrees temperature, 2 to 3 degrees less than the body temperature. Very good. Okay, and it will be providing a right temperature for the formation. That's why the testes are present outside the body. Okay. Now we have these glands, right? A very important, these glands I'm sure you are asking about. We have the two glands. We have the seminal vesicle gland and the prostate gland. The important function of these glands is to provide the seminal gland, provide the fluid, right? The fluid will be getting mixed with the sperms and we call that fluid as a semen, right? Right? We call it as a semen. And the prostate gland ahead will be adding the nutrient that is required for the sperms. Okay? It will be helping in the lubrication. It will be providing the nutrient. Are we clear, everyone? Yes. Are we clear? Everyone. Shruti, we don't have in the syllabus, so I would skip that part a bit. But of course, it will actually help in the lubrication process. Very good. Yes, Kavya, the prostate gland actually help in releasing or providing the nutrient. Okay? Gametogenesis is a process by which the gametes are formed. Are we clear, everyone? Yes? So over here we have the male reproductive system. We know that testes are the primary organs where we'll see the formation of the sperms. Then we over here, this part, as you can see, this is the epididymis. Then from this, we have the vas deferens where the sperms will be moving from the epididymis to the vas deferens, and from there it will be moving to the seminal vesicle gland, then to the prostate gland, right, and then to the urethra. And this urethra is actually moving towards right to outside it, and of course we have this. So urethra basically will be carrying the urine as well as the sperms. Are we clear? LH and FSH are both important hormones. You don't have it now, so I'll not be answering it. Sebastian, the function of estrogen, of course, it will be helping in the various secondary sexual character, right? It will actually help in the menstrual cycle. Progesterone will actually help in the pregnancy. So are we clear, everyone? Yes. Very good. They can ask you to draw the diagram of it. It's a very easy diagram. You can practice it. Very good, everyone. I can see. Let's move forward. And yeah, we are moving forward. Okay. Thank you. We are continuing, and I got this confirmation from many of you. Yes, you can write it out, Tanya. Yes, you can write it out. Okay, now we'll be discussing about the female reproductive system. We have the fallopian tube, ovary, we have urethra, and we have the cervix and the vagina. So ovary, of course, if we talk about the ovary, we'll be producing the egg, right, the oocyte. It will be producing the egg, and of course, it will be releasing into the fallopian tube. So ovary is responsible for the production of it, and then it will be releasing into the fallopian tube. And in the fallopian tube or the oviduct, what we'll see, we will see the fertilization happening. Are we clear? This is really very easy, right? Very good. About the corpus gland, I've already mentioned, right? Very good, very good. So over here, this is the fallopian tube, and of course over here we have the ovum. And ovum will be moving from here. If the fertilization is happening, the fertilization will be happening in the fallopian tube or the oviduct, right? And zygote will be formed, which is a diploid cell because it has 46 chromosomes. That's why we call it as a diploid cell. Very good. Now, this over here, if you can see over here, after the fertilization is done, this egg, right, will be moving ahead. A zygote will be moving. The number of cells will increase, and it will be going into the uterus, and it will be getting implanted. Can you see over here? The implantation will occur. Very good, Yashrat. Yes. Very good. Smriti, fetus is, when this particular zygote will be developing more and more further, then we call it as the growing, the baby in the we call it as a fetus. Very good. So, what we'll see that after the implantation, right, the growth of the fetus will occur in the mother's womb. Implantation means that the zygote, right, that we have will be developing into the individual, right. Of course, there will be a lot of cell division happening, and it will be getting implanted into the uterus. And uterus is called as the womb, where we will see that the fetus will be developing. Now, as many of you are asking about, what is placenta? So, placenta has a very important role over here. So, as you can see, this placenta, right, is basically a structure that is attached to the mother's body, right? It has these small villi that actually help in providing the blood and the nutrient to the growing fetus. And this is attached to the umbilical cord. So, all the nutrient will be moving with the help of the placenta, and all the waste from the fetus will be moving out with the help of the placenta. Are we clear? Okay, I can see a lot of questions on the twins. Will not be discussing it now. We have discussed in the previous session, so you can go watch it. It's not there in your syllabus. Contraceptive device will be learning it, right? Will be learning about them. Yes? Okay, are we clear about the female reproductive system? Are we, everyone? Are we clear with this? Winner, you have to wait for it. Yes. Oocyte, Sanjana, is an egg. Okay, very good, very good. I can see a lot of thumbs up over here. Very good, everyone. Awesome. Okay, we are clear with it, right? Now that's all when the fertilization will occur. When the fertilization occurs, we know that what will happen, there's a fusion of male gamete and the female gamete, and we will see the growth of the fetus, right? Now, if there's no fertilization, what will happen? Let's quickly discuss about it. So, if there's no fertilization happening, we will see that the blood lining which is there inside the female's womb will shed themselves, and we call that process as the menstrual cycle. Placenta was this particular part, right? Very good. Over here, so if there's no fertilization happening, we will see the shedding of the endometrium wall, right? And along with this, we will see the movement of the egg also. Mucus. Very good. We will be doing the questions also. So over here, we are just moving towards the question. Are we clear with this? Very good. Are we clear, right, about the menstrual cycle? Okay. Now let's move to the reproductive health, a very important point, right? Reproductive health, we know that's really very important. And to protect us, of course, we should be aware about it, right? And there are a lot of disease, which are the sexually transmitted diseases. We have few examples over here. We have gonorrhea, which is caused by the bacteria, syphilis caused by the bacteria, and AIDS, which is caused by the virus. So remember these disease name and the agent. Then let's talk about the contraceptive methods. Now these will be helping providing the protection from the unwanted pregnancy and will be protecting the individual from the STDs, right? STDs, which is the sexually transmitted diseases. Okay, Varuna will be discussing about it. Just give me a while. Okay. Now over here we have the different types of contraceptive methods. We have the barrier methods, and the common example is the condoms, where there will be a barrier between the male and the female gametes. Then we have intrauterine device that will be inserted into the female uterus, and this will be helping in reducing the speed of the sperms. And over here the common example is copper T. Very good. Yes. Then we have the hormonal methods. Of course, in that we have the different pills that will be changing the hormone level in the female's body, and it will be avoiding the fertilization process or the right. Everyone, are we clear? Yes. Tanya, we are discussing about it, right? These contraceptive methods will help to avoid the unwanted pregnancy. Very good. And then we have the surgical methods, where we have two different types. We have the vasectomy in the males and tubectomy in the females. So, honey, that's a very interesting question. I don't have that answer. Why not lead? Of course, if we do a little bit research about it, you'll be able to get. Lead is definitely harmful to the body. Yes. Are we clear, everyone? So this is important, and of course comes a very important part, that why there is a need of the contraception methods, of course, to prevent the unwanted pregnancy. It plays a very important role in the family planning, provides a good maternal health, and it actually helps in the prevention of the STDs. Are we clear, everyone? Right? Are we clear? Very good. Lots of thumbs up, and let's quickly discuss about the questions now. Quickly, everyone, I want all of you to come over here and let's quickly discuss about the questions. Now it's time. Very good. Okay. So reproduction is a link to the stability of the population of species. Justify your statement. Very easy, right? It's a very easy answer. Why the stability of the population? Why the reproduction is really very important to the stability of the population? We know that reproduction actually helps in maintaining the balance, right? It actually helps in continuity of the species, right? So this is how you can write the answer in your examination. It's for 1 mark, and for 2 marks also, if you can mention these points, you'll be good to go. Remember to mention the answers in the point, right? Always write your answer in the points. That will be actually helping you. Are we clear, everyone? Yes? Very good. Very good. Moving to the next part of the question, right, over here. Chandni, observe a small potato plant attached to a potato. Of course, we know that which reproductive method we are talking about. We are talking about, very good, Yashrat. Very good, Chitra. Yashashang, Jasnoor, Harimurli. What about the earthworm? I don't know in what context you're talking about. Endometrium is basically the blood walls that we have inside the female uterus. There are different layers of it, so endometrium is one. Very good. Vegetative propagation is the answer. Absolutely correct. So we have the answer, which is the vegetative propagation, and we know that through the stem we have the example of potato and the onion, and this is how you'll see the formation of a new plant, right? So you can mention the examples, and then you can write the answer in this particular way. Over here we have, right? 2 points. We have the answer, that is vegetative propagation, and then you can mention about it. Easy, right? It's a Kaju Katli question. Shraddha, I have answered your question. When a female feticide is the, If a family don't need a female child, they'll be killing it, so that's why. And that too in the womb itself, in the mother's womb itself. That's the female feticide. Okay, moving to the next question, everyone. We have name 2 plants that follow similar techniques of the propagation. We can name any 2 plants which actually follow the vegetative propagation, right? We can mention about the roots, right? We have the carrot, we have the bryophyllum. We can mention all of these and these will be valid. We just have to mention 2 names and you can, you can mention it. Vinay, I have answered your question. Okay. And this is how you can write the answer in your examination, everyone. 1 marks question is a really very easy question for all of us. Okay, moving ahead. The next question. Okay, now the question looks really very big, right? Really very big, but it's really very easy question. It's there in the CBSE and we have discussed this question, right? List 2 common signs of sexual maturation in boys and girls. We just have to mention about what happens during the puberty. Yes. Very good. External fertilization occurs outside the body of the individuals. We usually see in the amphibians and other animals, in fishes also. Voice change, body hair growth, growth of the genitals, right? Very good, everyone. I hope you're drinking water in between. Very good. So over here we have the changes that we will see generally in both boys and girls, and we can mention it over here. Growth of the body, genitals become more darker, right? Growth, and the skin will become more oily, and this is how you can write the answers. Very good. You are the rock star actually. Each one of you are the rock star. You're there with us since the very beginning. So very good. I hope all of our doubts are getting cleared, right? Change of voice. Cracking of voice, yes. No, Harita, it's not important to draw the diagram until unless they're asking you to draw the diagram. Go, little rock star. Yes, you all are amazing rock stars and you're doing amazing. What is the result of the reckless female feticide? Vinay Yadav, are you there in the class? You were spamming a lot and here's the answer. I've already explained but explaining you again. What is the result of the reckless female feticide? So we know that female feticide is killing the female child in the womb itself, right? Even if before she's born, there are a lot of communities, a lot of people who don't want girls and they'll be killing the female fetus in the womb. So that is the female feticides. And feticides, right over here, that will be affecting the sex ratio, and of course because of that, the society will have a lot of imbalance in the number of males and the number of females. Okay, so there will be a lot of disbalance. Okay, and this is how you can frame your answer. Are we clear? Yes? Yes. Very good false belief. This very good Sai. Yes. Yes, JC Diaries, yes, it was asked in the previous question paper also. Yes, very good. Awesome. Okay, now one more. C part of the question, which is a very big question. Which contraceptive method changes the hormonal balance? We have talked about it, right? Which of the contraceptive methods will be changing the hormones level in the female body? Pills, very good. Surjita, very good. Vinay, oral pills, hormonal pills, or the pregnancy pills, yes, they will be changing the hormonal balance in the body, and that's how they will be affecting the reproduction, basically the fertilization process and the implantation process. Okay, they'll be changing the hormone level in the body, they'll be avoiding or stopping the implantation, and they have a little bit of side effects on the menstrual cycle. This is how we can frame our answer. So the answers are really very easy, right? The answers are really very easy. You just have to know the concept, and of course you can answer. Congratulations. Claps. Come on everyone. Quickly claps for each one of us. Thank you, Tanya. Thank you so much. Very good, everyone. Okay, now that we are clear with this question, we have the D part of this particular question, which is write 2 factors that determine the size of the population. Again, when we talk about the size of population, we're talking about 2 important things: birth rate and the death rate, right? Birth rate and the death rate. This will be helping. It's a jalebi question. Absolutely, Lavanya. Sorry, Lavya. It's a jalebi question. Twisted question, but easy answer. Yes. Okay. Now moving to the next question. Here we have identified the given diagram. Can you quickly name the diagram parts? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a female reproductive system. We know the diagram parts, right? We have the first part. The first part is the fallopian tube. Second is ovary. Third is uterus. Then we have the cervix and the vagina. So fallopian tube is where the fertilization will occur, right? It will be receiving the ovum. Ovary, which produce the egg. Uterus, which is also called as the womb, where the fetus will grow. Then we have the cervix, through which the sperms will enter. And vagina, of course. First, the sperms will be entering into the vagina and then to the cervix. Yes. Thank you so much, JC Diaries. I will not be able to talk now in Hindi, but yeah, because many of you, are not comfortable in Hindi, so I'll be speaking in English. Awesome. Over here we have the answer, very easy answer. Again, if you look at this question, they have already given you the diagram, right? You have the diagram with you and you don't have to draw the diagram. You just have to identify the parts. So over here, this is how you can do it. Very good. So are we clear with this, everyone? Are we clear with this part? Awesome. Now let's move to the next question. Priyanshu will be discussing about it. Charvi, you had this question in a pre-vote. That's good. Very good. Okay. Now name the part. This was also there in CBSE 2016 question paper. We have already discussed it. Come on, quickly. What is A part? Right? What is B part, C part and D part? We know that it's talking about the pollination process first. Right? We have, we'll be discussing about the pollination process. Pollen grain will, they'll travel and they'll be coming on the stigma. Then of course there's a formation of the pollen tube. And then of course the pollen tube will be carrying the male gametes and we have the egg cell. Right? It's a very easy question. Right? We don't have Menti today in the class. We are doing a marathon. Right? We are doing a marathon. Okay. So here we have the mentioned part, right? And with this, everyone, after 1 hour and 7 minutes, we are done. Super happy. We are done with the first chapter, that is how do organisms reproduce. I want all of you to take a while, right? Breathe. Sip some, some drops, not sip, some drops of water. Drink water. Aram se. We will be taking a break of, let's say, 30 seconds. Congratulations and celebration is a very, very important topic. So that's why we have to spend that amount of time that we did. And we'll be moving to heredity now. So call your friends again. Right? Now we have started. We will be starting with the heredity. So आराम से इत्मीनान से हमने पढ़ाई करी, right? Without any rush, बिना किसी जल्दबाजी के, we did the proper studies, right? And now we will be moving to the next chapter, that is heredity. So release, inhale, exhale, release all of your tension, right? Let me just drink water and we'll start with heredity. I hope you're enjoying, right? Maitri, egg cell and ovaries are two different things. Ovaries is a part, right, of the female reproductive system. Egg cell is produced inside the ovary. Yes? Okay, now break is up. I'll not be able to have 2 minutes long break, but this much break is fine. Diffusion occurs for glucose and waste disposal. Yes, when we talk about diffusion, of course, we have different types of, diffusion when we think in terms of the humans, right? This very deep down process. Yeah, you have studied in the life process, right? So diffusion is the transfer, right? When we say from high concentration to low concentration. So it's not just plain diffusion, especially in the body when we talk about it, right? Directly. It occurs at a cellular level. Very good. Nahi, we will be covering all the chapters and we're starting with the next chapter, that is heredity. I want all of your attention back in the class, right? Yes. So let's start. Yes, Unnati. The mitosis, meiosis, haploid, diploid will come over here. Okay. Now everyone, let's quickly start it. Very important chapter. So of course, this is all about yes, we'll be learning the laws again. So we know that about the heredity, right? We have different characteristic features, and of course we keep on asking our parents, oh, do I look like you, right? Oh, do I have a nose like you? Of course, it is there, right? And of course, a very important definition we have in this particular chapter is that heredity is called as the inheritance. That is nothing but the passing of the traits from one generation to the next generation. Please note this down. It's a very, very important definition, right? Very, very important definition. Heredity is nothing but the passing of the genes, right? The traits from one parent to the next generation. That's it. That is the heredity. And heredity also helps in giving us a lot of variation. So we know that when we talk about the heredity, we are talking in terms of genes and the DNA. So on our DNA, there's a small segment, right? There's a small segment. Heredity, Chanchal, is nothing but the transfer of genes from one parent to their offspring. We'll be discussing about the laws. Yes, we will be discussing about the laws, Lavia. Okay. So when we talk about the DNA, right? DNA has a small segment, right? If you talk about a small segment of the DNA, we call it as a gene, right? And we have thousands of genes in our DNA, okay? So genes are the small segments of the DNA that are, of course, controlled. They are the one that will be carrying out the various important characteristic features, right? See over here, hair color. My hair color is black, right? What do you think? It's black or blue or brown, right? So the hair colored gene, the black hair colored gene is there on our DNA. So genes are the small segment of the DNA that will be carrying out the particular trait. Very good. Now when we talk about the gene, we usually get confused about the few terms. We'll be discussing about that. Yes? Okay. Now that we are clear with what heredity is and what genes, of course, we know that, okay, there are a lot of difference, right? Even if we are in the same family, we will see a lot of difference. I'm sure you're not the exact copy of your father or your mother, right? I'm sure you'll have a lot of difference. Yes? Why is that? Because of the variation. And what is variation? Variation is nothing but the difference of the characteristics within a species of organism is called as the variation. Yes? Are we clear with these two terms? Everyone, are we clear with the heredity and the variation? DNA is deoxyribonucleic acid, right? It has a lot of things, right, if we talk about it. It has proteins, right? And of course, when we talk about it, the detailed structure, it has sugar, it has phosphate, it has nitrogenous bases. Okay, you'll be learning about the detailed structure in your upcoming classes, right? Yes, Hirshid, it is. Okay, are we clear? Elil will be discussing about it now. Okay, when we talk about the variation, right? Now over here, this is the gene for the eye color, right? So we have so many eye color. Now someone is talking about the allele. Now allele are the alternative or the variant form of the gene. Yes, yes, Gopala Krishnan, genes are present on the DNA. Are we clear with this? Someone was asking about the alleles. Over here we have the allele, right? So the alternative form of the gene is called as the allele. Smriti, for you, brown eye color, blue eye color, dark blue eye color, green eye color, yellow eye color. All of these, we have the variant form, right? We have different types of eye colors also. And we have this, we call them as the allele. Varuna example is over here, the different eye color. Melanin, right? The skin color also. Right? So we have different varieties of the particular things. Are we clear? Kailasha will be discussing about that. Okay? Very good. So everyone, let's stack the things over. We will be forming a base and then we'll be moving up. So we are clear with heredity. Thumbs up. Quickly give me a thumbs up. Are we clear with heredity? Thumbs up for heredity. Are we clear with variation? Very good. We are clear with heredity, we are clear with variation. Heredity is nothing but when the genes are passed from one generation to the next generation, we call it as a heredity. And then we have variation because we are not identical copies to our parents. We have some difference, we call it as their variation. Then we have the genes. There is a small segment of the DNA, right, that will be giving us various characteristics or the traits. Then we have allele. They are the alternative form of genes, different eye color, different hair color, right? These are the alleles, the alternative form of gene or the variant form of genes, right? Then comes a very, very important term. You're talking about the traits and the characters. So we'll be discussing about it. But let's before discuss one important thing. Acquired traits. How many of you know to swim, right? How many of you know to swim? So it's a character that we acquired when we are living on the planet Earth. We learn these things, right? So these will be not passed to the next generation, okay? These are the acquired traits. Now, we have opposite of that, we have inherited traits. Now, these traits are inherited, right? It will be moving from one generation to the next generation, okay? Like hair color, skin color, eye color, height, all of these are the inherited traits. So, we have two different types of things. We have traits, acquired traits, and we have the inherited traits. Acquired traits we will be acquiring during our lifetime, and then we have inherited traits that we get it from our parent. Are we clear with this? Are we clear with this? Yes? Sebastian, you are almost there. Don't get confused. Yes, we'll be discussing about it. Okay. Now, let's talk about the very important thing that we have, that is the Gregor, right? Mendel. Now, he is known as the father of the genetics, right? And he's the one who actually proposed the laws, right? And he worked upon the pea plant, which is called as the Pisum sativum, okay? And why he opted for the pea plant? Why he opted for the pea plant is a very, very important question. I'll not be spending much time over here because of these important characteristic features. Now, the reason for the Mendel to choose the pea plant is because of the clear contrasting characters. Thank you, Moonshine, right? Clear contrasting character. There was a proper difference between the pea plant. Shorter lifespan. Lifespan was really very short. Produce many seeds at a time. Bisexual flowers. And artificial cross-pollination was possible. So here we have these answers with us. Are we clear? Yes. Right, everyone? So take a screenshot of it, right? Quickly take a screenshot of it. It's important. Okay. Okay, now this is clear, right? And he worked upon these pea plant. And he worked upon the 5 different characters. Over here we have, right? Can you see the traits? Dominating traits and the recessive traits, the 7 things that we have over here. Now let me address to a very important question you are all asking. What is the difference between a character and a trait? And over here we have. Yes. Now, Mayatri, you will be getting your answer now. Now, any heritable feature is called as the character. For example, height, right? We get the height from our parents to us. So, it is a heritable character that will be moving from one generation to the next generation. Are we clear with character? Yes? Are we clear, everyone? Quickly give me a thumbs up. Very quickly give me a thumbs up. Right? Are we clear with this? That what we call it as the characters. Very good. Now that we are clear with the characters, let's talk about the traits also. Right? Sorry. Now, what is a trait? Now, trait is nothing but the alternative form of the character, right? It can be tall, it can be short. If you're talking about the height, it can be tall height, it can be short height. So, that is the trait. Yes? Right? Are we clear? So that's it. We have this. We have the trait and the characters. Very, very easy. Okay. So now if we have to sum all of it that just we have studied, if we talk about it, we have genes. So tell me, are we clear with genes? Thank you, Sahil. Yes, very good, Vishal. We can say that. Now give me a thumbs up. What is a gene? A small segment of DNA. Right? If this is a DNA, this small segment is called as the gene. This will be helping us to give the various different characteristics or the traits. Right? Now, what is allele? A different alternative form of a gene. Like the trait, right? It could be eye color, for example, eye color. It could be black. It could be brown. So we have different allele for a particular gene, right? We have different characteristics altogether. Right? It will be giving us different eye color, right? So it's a variant of the gene. It's a variant of a gene. Then, of course, we are clear with gene, allele, right? And we are clear with character and a trait. The alternative form version of it's the trait, right? Are we clear? I want all of you to have a clear-cut idea about these 4 terms. It's really very important. I'll be spending some more time again. It's important. Please pay attention. Kailash, in what way? We have the videos with us, so you can definitely watch them. Yes, I'll have explained it again, bache. Just wait for a while. Yes, are we clear? Yes, are we clear with these 2? So characters that are passed from one generation to the next generation, right? Are we clear with the characters that move from one generation to the next generation? And what is moving? Of course, we have the genes, right, which are moving. And of course, these genes will be giving us a different traits, right? Over here, it could give us a height, it could be tall, it could be short, right? Very good. And of course, someone asked, what is a chromosome? So when this particular DNA get into highly coiled structure, very, very highly coiled structure, we call them as the chromosome. Very good. Okay. We can say that, Maitri. Right? Traits are the type of characters. So they are different, right? If you think in character is a broader way, hair color. Right? It's hair color. But which hair color? That will be helping, that we will be able to get it with the help of trait. Whether it's black, blue, grey, yellow, white, purple, etc. Chromosomes present, genes are present on the chromosomes. Of course, it's a coiled structure, right? Very good. I can see all of you are there on the same page. Okay, very quick thumbs up and we'll be moving ahead. Quickly, quickly. Yes? Okay. Now that we are clear with this, let's talk about the Mendel's experiment. Now from here, I want again your attention here with us. It's really important, right? 3 laws, super important from the exam point of view. So over here we have the first talks is about the monohybrid cross. Now what is a monohybrid cross? Monohybrid cross kya hai? Mono means one. So we are talking about one particular cross, right? Over here we have a tall plant, right? And we have a dwarf plant. Ek plant we have which one is tall and one we have which is dwarf, right? Tarun will be doing that. Yes. Okay. When we talk about these genotype and the phenotype, we'll be discussing this also. Don't get confused. Okay. Now this is capital T and capital T. All of you who has a confusion between the phenotype and the genotype, please pay attention. Genotype means the genetic makeup of the individual, right? This has capital T and capital T means it has both the alleles. Can you see over here? Kriti. Right? See over here the alternative form. So we have 2 alleles over here which are same. Right? Homozygous condition. This we call it as the homozygous condition. Homozygous. Right? And Over here also it's the homozygous. Are we clear? Yes. Archie, it will be there. Yeah. Very good. Okay. Trait is basically the alternative form of the character, right? When we talk about. Awesome. Now, if we do a cross between these two, right? We'll call it as a monohybrid cross because we'll get the different results. Now, as a genotype, as you all are asking, here we have it, right? Genotype is the genetic makeup, right? The genetic makeup. Sahil, for you and for other students who are asking about the genotype, the genetic information of a trait, whether it's capital T, whether it's small t, right? It's a genetic makeup. What is a phenotype? When we observe something, right? For example, we can say that, ma'am, hair color is black, right? If we have someone with the blue hair color, we'll be able to say that, oh, that's a blue hair color, right? So, phenotype is the observed character that we can actually see. Tall plant, dwarf plant, blue eye color, green eye color, all of these are this. Are we clear? Everyone, are we clear with this? Yes, I can see your answers. Very good. Right, so we are clear with the with basically the genotype and the phenotype. Yes. Okay. Very good, everyone. Okay, now let's move ahead to the monohybrid cross we were discussing. Now we have, if you do the cross, we will see, first we'll see the formation of the gametes. The gametes will get separate. Now I want all of you to practice it with me, right? We'll make a square, right? We have the parent with us, right? That's capital T and capital T, small t and small t. We'll be discussing about that, Sebastian. The next thing is that only, okay? Capital T and small t, capital T and small t, capital T and small t, capital T and small t. Now what we'll be getting in the next generation, in the F1 generation, we will have the progeny which is tall, right? But can you see over here? This is the heterozygous condition. Both the alleles are same. What do you think? Both the alleles are same. We have capital T and small t. They are different, right? They are not same. Yes? So this is the heterozygous condition. Are we clear? Yes? Are we clear? This is the F1 generation. After the parents, right? We have this. That is the F1 generation. We have the gametes, right? Once there is a fusion, right? One there is a fertilization, and one there is a cross, basically we can say. We will get this. Now when we have this F1 generation over here with us, right? Over here we have the F1 generation. Now if we do the selfing of this F1 generation, what we'll be able to see? Can you write the answer? We'll see capital T and capital T, that is homozygous tall. Capital T and small t, capital T and small t, heterozygous tall, and small t and small t. It's the homozygous recessive. Now the monohybrid cross, where we are talking about one character only, right? Why it's monohybrid cross? We are talking about only one particular character. We will be able to see that in the F2 generation, we will see one tall plant, right? Which is genotype if we talk about it, right? We have 3 tall plants and 1 is dwarf. That is 3:1. Now this is the phenotypic ratio. 1:2:1 means there's 1 which is tall, 2 which is mixed heterozygous, and we have 1 which is the dwarf. Are we clear? Yes. And from this only we can reach on to the first law of, that is the law of dominance, that talks about that the dominating gene will be suppressing the recessive gene. Are we clear? Dihybrid we'll be discussing just in a while. Yes. Tarun, yes, got your point. Just give me a minute. We'll be discussing about that. Are we clear, everyone? Are we clear? Yes? Homozygous, heterozygous, right? Punnett square is easy peasy. Yes, 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 Shraddha. Okay? So from monohybrid cross, we have just discussed about the law of dominance. The recessive trait will be suppressed by the dominating. Okay, are we clear? Yes, we have talked about alleles, we have talked about traits, right? So there's a very, I think many of you were asking about the difference between a trait and an allele. The major difference between the trait and an allele, that allele will be determining the trait. Allele, right, will be telling, okay, now, okay, trait is a black color. But who is defining that black color? That is the allele. Remember that, everyone. There's a difference between the trait and the allele. I mean, think in terms of the biology. Very good. Are we clear? First law, everyone. That is law of dominance. Moving ahead, if we talk about the monohybrid cross further, we can say that we will see the gametes formation, right? And of course, we will have the parent, F1, right? We have this. If we quickly do it, we will have the cross and we'll be able to get this answer. Easy, right? This we already did. Now, okay, very important thing. Lirish is asking that why the capital T and small t are heterozygous. Lirish, if you see that, these alleles are different, right? There's one capital T and there's one with the small t. That's why they're heterozygous. Army girls, so it was a very beginning, right, of the different plants. So that's why that they are considered as the parent. Okay. Okay, Army girl, your question is sorted. Yes. Very good, Tanu. Very good. Varuna, very good. Different allele. Absolutely correct. Yes. Okay. They are different alleles. So I hope this is clear, right? There are different alleles. That's why we call it as a heterozygous, right? Homozygous, that is capital T and capital T. Very good. Yes. Deepak, when it thinks in that way, both these capital T, capital T, capital E and small t are all tall. But the genotypically they are different. Awesome. Are we clear, everyone? Yes. Very good. Now from here, let's move to the next law, that is the law of segregation. Yes. Now in the law of segregation, we know that the allele, the two alleles, right, will be getting separated during the gamete formation, right? So, for example, capital T, small t and small t, right? What was happening? We have capital T, small t and small t. So, this is happening. We will see the segregation of the gametes. This is important, everyone. Okay? Are we clear? Yes? That is nothing but the law of segregation. During the gamete formation, we will see the separation of the gametes. Are we clear? Second law, that is the... Yes, I know, Kavya. Yes. Are we clear, everyone? Law of segregation. Yes, we can get the law of segregation in monohybrid cross. So there's, see again, these crosses are not, right? These crosses, it's not that they are helping or they will follow only by one law. These crosses are helping us to understand these laws. Varuna, I hope that you're clear, right? Monohybrid cross, we're talking about one particular character that is actually helping us to learn more about the law of segregation and law of dominance. Are we clear? Yes. So we can state, Sebastian, you can actually look into your book. They have a very easy definition. But in an easy way, you can put it out in saying, mentioning that in the law of dominance, the one allele, right, when you talk about the dominant character and the recessive character, the dominating character will be suppressing the recessive one. It's Mendel. Okay, we're talking about the laws of inheritance which were given by the Mendel. Okay, everyone, are we clear with monohybrid cross? Quickly, then we are moving to the dihybrid cross. Yes? Okay. Very good. Awesome. Now let's talk about the dihybrid cross. It has two characters. Can you see over here? This is yellow and round seed, right? And we have green and wrinkled seed. Saransh, you can explain, you can write in your own words, but just remember one thing to mention about the important keywords, right? So we have this, right? We have round and yellow, and we have the wrinkled and green. So if you look physically, this looks like this, right? And the genotype is this. Okay, green and wrinkled, and this is the genotype. Are we clear with this? Right? Now, if we do the separation, right? If we do the gamete separation, we will have R and Y, R and Y. We will have small r and small y. Are you, like, all of you agree on this fact? In monohybrid cross, we are talking about one difference, right? One trait difference, that is, we talked about the height, right? In dihybrid cross, we talk about two difference. Over here, we have two characteristics. Seed is round also and seed is yellow also. Okay? This is right? Okay. Now, if you rub it off, over here we have the gametes. Yeah. Here we have the gametes, right? Now, when we have these gametes, right, we can easily say that the law of segregation is working here. Right? We saw the gametes formation. They get separated out. That is the law of segregation. Now, if we cross them all up, we will have this. If you want to write, we can write capital R, capital Y and small y. Right? We can write like this. Yes? Very good. Anurag, I hope that you are clear. Trait difference or the character difference, so we usually call them as a trait, right? We're talking about it. Specifically when we talk about, right? Very good. Lavya, coming to the law of independent assortment. Just wait for a while. Awesome. So this is there, right? Now, if we talk about this over here, we have the F1 generation. Those were the parents, and now we have the F1 generation. And if we do a cross, we will have these gametes. And of course, now this is a cross that many of us get confused right over here. Now what will happen? We will be crossing, and of course, slowly we'll be able to get this. Now, can I explain you this really very easily? A very common example we all have. Okay, everyone, are you there with me? Yes, are you there with me? Very good. So we have discussed about monohybrid cross, where we just discussed about the one particular character. We have discussed about the law of dominance, where the dominating trait will be suppressing the recessive genes, right? Recessive traits. And then we talked about the law of segregation, where we know that during the gamete formation, we will see the separation of the gametes. Clear? Now, let's talk about the last law. That is the law of independent assortment. After this cross, right, we will have 9 round seeds, right? Then we have 3 round and green seeds. Then we have 3 wrinkled and yellow seeds. And then we have 1 wrinkled and green seed. Now, if you look over here, these characters, right, are independent of each other. They are independent of each other. That's why from this particular cross, we can easily talk about the law of independent assortment. Yes? If we go back, I want you to see this. See, can you imagine this whole cross? Can you see this? See, capital R and capital R are there together. Yes? Okay? And over here we have small y and small y. Now, it's not that capital R will be there with capital Y only. Are we clear? So, what is the meaning of independent? Let's just break it really very easy. What is the meaning of independent? Can you tell me? What is the meaning of independent? Yes, quickly. What is the meaning of independent? It's really very easy, right? Very good. Free. Right. So, for example, you are independent now in the class and you will be independent in your examination also, right? You will be able to write the answers by yourself. Yes? You have all the answers in your mind and you'll be going into your examination hall and you'll be writing the answers. Your answer will not depend on your friend's answer. What do you think? In examination, you will not be dependent on your friend, right, to give you the answer. We don't do that, right? We prepare ourselves. So we are independent. And assortment means that during the gamete formation and during the expression, you will not be waiting for your friends. Okay, my friend has written 2 lines, so I'll be writing 2 lines. No, you will be independently writing answer. Similarly, in this case of dihybrid cross, capital R and capital Y are not connected. It's not that wherever the capital R will go, capital Y will follow. Capital R can actually mix with small y also. Over here, right, we can see small y ke saath, right? And capital yellow can actually mix with the small r also. So what is happening over here? It's the independent assortment. So gametes are independent, or we can say that alleles are independently expressing themselves. They actually don't depend on the others. Are we clear? Yes? See, quickly a thumbs up I need. Yes, Vishal, you can. You can use the capital one for the dominating alleles and small alphabets for the recessive one. Very good. Awesome. Now that we are clear with this, Tarun, we are coming to your question. Tarun is asking about the mitosis and meiosis, right? So we'll discussing about that. So we know what a gene, chromosome, etc. Now let's discuss about the sex determination, right? So we know that we have 23 pair of chromosomes, right? Everyone, are we clear with this? We have 23 pair of chromosomes. Total is 46. Total chromosomes are 46, right? Out of that, 22 are called as autosomes, right? We have in different parts of our body, skin, etc., etc. We call them as the autosomes. Whereas the one pair that we have, the sex chromosome, we call it as the sex chromosome. Are we clear? Right? They will be helping to identify the gender of the next, or maybe gender of the individual, right? So we have autosomes, which are the 22, and we have one, which is the sex chromosome. So on that basis, we can easily determine the sex of the individual. Okay? Are we clear? Are we clear? Okay. Now, we have 46 pair of chromosome, right? 46 chromosome, not pair, 46. Now, if in a cell, we have 46 chromosome, we call it as a diploid. It has what we call it as diploid. Are we clear? Now, what is haploid? What will be the haploid? Exactly the half. A cell which have the half the number of chromosomes is called as the haploid, right? We can represent it by the N and diploid by 2N. So over here we have the haploid. Shashank, you don't have to know about the genotype of the dihybrid cross. It's really very long. It's impossible for someone to ask you in the examination. So you don't have to bother about it. It's really very long. You can find it out easily. Okay? Are we clear? Are we clear about the haploid and diploid? Quickly, thumbs up. Right? Very good. Okay? N and 2N. 2N is for the diploid and N is for the haploid. Okay? Now this, of course, vary in different individuals. The number of chromosomes vary in different individuals. We're talking about the humans here. In humans, we have two different types of sex chromosome. We have X and Y, that is in the male, and X and X in the female. So, these are called as a sex chromosome. Now, let's quickly discuss about the sex determination. We have 44, which is the autosomes, and X and Y, that is a sex chromosome. Okay? So in sperms, it could be X, it could be Y. Are we clear? Yes? And in females, we have the ovum, which will have the X chromosome. Okay? Now, if the fertilization will occur, there is a 50-50% chances of the male and the female. Are we clear? Yes? Autosomes are the other chromosomes that we have in our body. Yes? Very good. So again, if we talk in terms of the sperm, we have 22 chromosomes. In ovum, 22 chromosomes. Varuna, are you clear with this? Yes? Very good. Okay. Now, if the fertilization occurs, right? If the fertilization occurs, X, 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 Y. So there are 50-50% chances of the male and the female. Usually in our societies and different communities, we usually blame the female. But it is males who actually determine the gender of the child, right? If the sperm which has X chromosome fuses with the X chromosome, right, of the ovum, it is a female. If the Y chromosome, right, the sperm which is having Y chromosome, right, if fertilized with the ovum of X, of course we have the male. So the male is responsible for determining the gender of the child. Are we clear with this? Sahil, angiosperm, we're talking about the flowering plants, bache. Right? Angiosperms are the flowering plants, we usually say. Are we clear? Very good. So again, a quick celebration. We are done with the chapter. Now let's quickly discuss the important questions over here. So we have this. We have to basically talk about the acquired and the inherited traits, right? With the help of one example, we have to differentiate between acquired and inherited traits. We are well aware about that. Acquired traits, we get it in the lifetime, whereas the inherited traits, we get it from the parents, right? Very good. So, okay. So, Tarun, the reason for this variation in the sexual reproduction is because of the mixing of the chromosomes. Okay, that's a reason. Tarun, I hope that I've answered your question. Okay. Okay, very good. So we have this. We have the acquired traits and the right? Which we of course get it. We have it during the lifetime, and over here we have the inherited traits which we get it from our parents. Okay. So over here we have, and this is how we can frame our answer. Yes. Okay. So are we clear? So cannot be passed to the progeny, nor bring changes to the DNA. Knowledge, swimming, etc. are the acquired traits, whereas can be passed to the progeny. And of course, present in the DNA and the germ cells, and of course, eye color and the hair color. So you can mention about these points for 3 marks. Very good. Okay, everyone. Moving ahead to the next part, right? Why are traits acquired during the lifetime of an individual, not inherited? Same question. It's a pretty much same question. You just have to mention about the acquired traits, right? And why they are not. We can discuss about the points that we have already mentioned, right? That of course they are not present in the genes, so that they are actually not there in the DNA. That's why they'll not be moved from one generation to the next generation. Ma'am, saying error in the DNA copying is correct. Yes, Sebastian, it is. Ma'am, how to Punnett square for the F2 generation? So in our Sanvi, in our syllabus we talk about, we have till the F2 generation, right? To get the F2 generation. From further there, of course, if we have the F2 generation, we can take it. We can usually do the selfing, and from there you can make the squares. Very good. Thank you so much, Sai. Thank you so much. Hi, Thambi. Yes, NT. Clear? Okay, everyone. Quickly thumbs up, everyone, and moving to the next question. Few more slides with us, right? We'll be moving to the next question. Here we have a very important question, the sex determination also only with the 50-50% chances, right? Very good, everyone. So we have just discussed about the sex determination, right? Males have X and Y chromosome and females have X chromosome. So if there is a fusion of X and X, it's a female, and if it is a fusion of the X and Y, it is a male. Okay, that is a sex determination we have, and the chances is absolutely 50-50 percentage. Yes, and this is how you can frame your answer, right? Homozygous, Sanvi, and heterozygous. For example, if we have capital T and capital T, right, when we talk about it, this is a homozygous condition where both the alleles are same, and capital T and small t are heterozygous where both the alleles are different. Yes. So, over here we can see, right, phenotypic is a physical observe when we can observe the characteristics physically, like by looking, we call them as a phenotype, and the genetic makeup is called as genotype. Okay, next question everyone on your screen. Study the following cross. Over here we have, right, and we have to find the answer. Look at the cross, right? Look at the cross over here. Varun, you are asking about to explain the second point. The sex, since the ratio of male gametes contain X chromosome, right, and those containing Y chromosome is 50-50% chances. We have just discussed that. Awesome. So I can see the answers already. So we have this. If the F1 generation will be, right, it will be capital R, small r, capital Y and small y. Very good. A smiley for all of us. Hybrids, Deepak, is a mix, right? It is a mix of two. Okay. Somatic cells are the cells that, of course, when we talk about the skin cells, liver cells, stomach cells, except the sperms and the ovums, all cells in our body are the somatic cells. Gamete cells are the sperm and the ovum. Yes. Okay. Yes. Okay. Now, of course, a very interesting question is there. Right? Let's look at over here. What is the combination of characteristics in F2 progeny? What are their ratio? We're talking about the dihybrid cross. So we know that the ratio is 9:3 to 3:1, right? Your phenotypic ratio is this, right? And you can easily mention that. Very good. We don't have to discuss about the hybridization over here. Very good. Yes. So are we clear with this particular answer? Very good, everyone. Very good. So this is how we can mention, right? We can mention in the F2 generation what we'll see. There are 9, we have the ratio, and this is a phenotypic ratio. 9:3 to 3:1, right? And Sebastian is actually sharing the the genotypic ratio. Very good, Sikjot. Okay, everyone. Few end last minutes, right? Still, we have a long way to go. We have to discuss about the reasons of the appearance of new combination of characteristics in the F2 generation. Because we have it, it's because of the law of independent assortment, right? It's because of this, we know that then only we'll be able to see a various different characteristic features. Very good, right? And now with this, let's quickly take again a small break, and we are done with the second chapter, that is the heredity. And now we are moving to the last chapter, that is our environment, right? That is our environment. Yes? Yo, full of energy. Okay, before we start, let me quickly explain one thing which is being asked by many of you, that is the mitosis. In mitosis, what happens? It's a division where the cell will be producing the same copy, right? The number of chromosome will be identical. So in mitosis, we will see the same number of chromosomes. Our skin cells, right, how they divide? By the process of mitosis, they will be producing the identical daughter cells. In meiosis, which is different. Now in meiosis, initially, we will have 46 chromosomes, and these meiosis occurs only in the gamete cell, sperm and the ovum production, right? So what will happen? Initially, we'll see the reduction division. And then, of course, it will be 23, 23. Okay? So we'll see the reduction division. So are we clear? So meiosis, of course, plays a very important role in the sexual reproduction. Okay? Right? It plays a very important role in the sexual reproduction. Are we clear with this? Yo. Now let's talk about our environment, right? So we have been hearing about the news of how our environment is getting affected, and of course, when you talk about our environment, we have two important things. We have abiotic factor, right? And the biotic factor are you and me, the living, right? The living beings are called as a biotic factor, or the living things, and of course, the abiotic are the non-living things like sand, water, air, etc. And of course, they interact in the ecosystem, and we have our environment. So this is really very important. Biotic, abiotic, environment, and the ecosystem. In our ecosystem, we have something which is natural ecosystem and artificial ecosystem. Of natural ecosystem, of course, we have forest, we have grassland and desert. Artificial ecosystem, of course, we have zoos, park, aquarium, etc. Yes? Right? Easy, right? This is the easiest one. In our ecosystem, we have one thing really very important, that is the food chain. Now we know that the linear sequence, right, where one organism will be consuming the another organism, we call it as the food chain. It's a very important definition. Please keep a note of it, right? Plant will be consumed by the herbivores, which eat only plant. They will be consumed by the carnivores that consume the meat of other animals, right? Tertiary and the top level. Sebastian, desert is an ecosystem because it has living as well as the non-living factors, right? Living organisms are there. There are lizards, rats, plants, right? All the best, Sanvi. And then, of course, it has the non-living factors like sand, air, etc. Take a screenshot, everyone. Okay, so that's the food chain. You can remember about it. Yes. Right, that's a... Khushi, we're about to finish this chapter. Then we'll take a break. Very good, Sukhjot. Yes, absolutely correct. Okay. Now, in our ecosystem, we have the decomposers that actually help in decomposing, right? They are the one that will be feeding upon the dead and decay animals, and they will be helping in the cleaning of our environment also. Very good, Yashrat. Hi, Krishna. Century, no, because we have, so when you talk about the wildlife centuries, it is there in the natural environment, right? Very good. Yes. Next thing is the food chain. Of course, we have different food chain, right? And of course, when we have the food chain, we will see that energy moves from one tropic level to another tropic level. And of course, it moves in a straight chain. And what happens over here is interesting, which is important from the exam point of view. The 10% law of energy. The energy moves, right? And only 10% of the energy will be moving from one tropic level to the another tropic level, right? 90% of the energy is being consumed, right? For example, if we are having food, what will happen? We'll be having so many activities, right? Metabolism is happening, different activities, respiration, digestion, all of it. I'm not sure, Somnil. Yes? So, that is a 10% law of energy. Important, very, very important. So, you can note it down, and of course, the easier trick we remember, right? If you have to calculate something, just remove the 0 from the first level. Interesting, right? Only 10% of the energy will be moved from one tropic level to the another one. So, remove the zeros and you will have the answers with you. So, this is how we can deal with this type of questions. 10% law of energy will be lost. Heat is getting lost. Right? Please write your doubt. Okay, so we have discussed about the food chain, the 10% law of energy. When we talk about the food chain, in our environment, we have the food web also. When many food chains are interconnected, we call it as a food web. Right? We call it as a food web. So, the interconnection of the various food chain is called as a food web. Yes? Sanvi, to calculate this, you just have to remember the easiest way. Of course, there's a lot of maths that goes on. The easiest way, of course, is to just remove the zero. If they're asking, for example, ke last May, the amount of energy that will be there with the consumer, you can reduce the zeros and you will have the answers. Okay? That's all about the food chain, food web, energy tropic level. Now let's move to the pesticides. Biological magnification, right? Divided by 810. Yeah, Sukhjot is helping us over here. So of course we have various chemicals, right? And definitely we cannot just ban them in one night. These pesticides are there and insecticides are there that are used by the various farmers, right? And they will be entering into our food chain through the water and through the soil. So of course, if a farmer is using these toxins, right, to actually enhance the growth of the plant, it will be moving in the plant and will be causing the pollution, right? And in plants, there will be accumulation of these chemicals. The same thing can happen in the water also. So if these pesticide and fertilizer will be moving into the water bodies, it will be going into the organisms. And if we consume those plants or the water organisms, what will happen? We will be getting more and more accumulation of the toxins, right? And this will be increasing because of the body mass that we have, right? Of the body mass. And this is nothing but the biological magnification or biomagnification. Are we clear? Yes? So in a very simple way, right? If for example, if a plant is taking up a lot of chemicals, right? It will be collecting the toxins. It will have the toxins. Now, if this is consumed by the hen, right? If the hen is eating it, of course, it is getting these toxins in its body. If you talk about the size of the mass of these animals, it is very different, right? It's more. So, of course, it will have more. And if a human consumes this chicken, what will happen? We'll have more chemicals, right? And because of that, we'll have more chemical accumulation in the body. And that is called as the biological magnification. Are we clear? Yes? Right? Very good. Very good, Sanvi. So how we assure that, we don't have it in our food chain, of course. We should not use it, right? Apart from that, we have various other levels. Now comes a very important point, just directly coming on the point about the waste management, right? We can manage our waste. And of course, we have the different classification. We have biodegradable waste that can be easily decomposed and non-biodegradable waste. Biodegradable waste will take lesser time to get, degrade. Decomposers will be working upon it and they can break it, right? And our environment will easily take it. Whereas we have the plastics, of course, in terms of the plastic, it will take ages, right? So, of course, we have the understanding about the biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste, right? So, are we clear with these two facts? Now, when we have these waste, we can easily manage our waste by using the 3 R's. Reduce, reuse and recycle. So we have quickly discussed it. We can reduce the use of plastics. We can use the cotton bags, right? We can actually avoid the plastic cutlery. We can use the steel one. We can go for the reuse. We can reuse various things, right? Like I usually use the glass jar to decorate, to keep something. Then the glass bottle to make them into a vase, right? And of course to decorate it. Of course the old clothes can be used to give it to someone else. And of course to clean the various surfaces. And then comes the recycling. I'm sure each one of you, follow all of this, right? Yes? I'm sure all of you do follow all of these important things with us. Very good. Oh, I can see many of you are mentioning that you have your examination. All the best. All the best for your examination. That's nice. Okay, so in our textbook, they have mentioned about the 3 R's, we have 5 R's also. So we can definitely mention about repurpose is there, refuse is there. Yes, but Hari Murli, in your textbook, they have just mentioned 3. So that's why. Cool. If you have 5, you have the 5 refuse and the repurpose. That's very good, Sebastian. Awesome. Now, a very important thing about the ozone. Why we use sunscreen? Anyone? Because to protect us from the harmful UV radiations, right? Now, of course, these UV radiation can actually harm us. They can cause various things, right? They have They can cause the skin cancer, can cause harm to our eyes, etc. And not just to the humans, they can cause the damage to the plants and the animals also, right? So we have to be very careful about it. And why all of this is we are talking about? We're talking all of this because of the UV rays. But thankfully, we have an ozone layer that can actually help us in protection, right? The ozone layer is there. Oh, of course it is there, right? It's there in our atmosphere, and of course it actually helps in the avoiding, or it provides protection us from the harmful UV radiation. Yes, everyone? Are we clear with this? Hi, Sukhman. Yes. Very good. So what will happen? See over here, we have the O2. Once the UV rays will come, right, of course, there will be breakage of these and they will be, see over here, there's a formation. So O, right? Are we clear, everyone? So we have this O2. First, that will be split into O plus O. And this O will be combining with O2 and it will be giving us O3. Right? And this is how we have the ozone layer formation. Yes? Very good. Very good, Shushi. Jai Shri Krishna. Good evening, everyone. Yes. Yes, come on, everyone. Come on. Are we clear with this? So, Shraddha, the UV, so sunscreens actually have a great formulation, have some chemicals that can actually protect us from the harmful UV radiation. Okay? Many of you are asking that how the UV rays can cause cataract, or they will be damaging our eyes, right? And once that is there, the cataract is the next step. Not a good step, but yeah. Okay? So we have the answer with us at how the ozone layer actually helps. We have the ozone layer, right? It actually provides protection against the UV radiation. And there are some causing agents, right? That are the source of the CFCs that cause the harm to our environment. And over here we have the list of these. You can always remember them. And the ozone depletion is a very alarming thing, right? We should be more concerned about it. We should not be, using more of these CFCs, and it can actually harm. Yes, are we clear? Yes, definitely we can use it. We should not be using the chlorofluorocarbon. And over here we have some of the important questions, everyone. This was a very interesting chapter. We came really very quickly. Right. Yes. So, Neil, I don't have the information, so I'll not be able to help you over here. Yes. So, Hani, yes, very good. Okay. So, give the reason. We can easily justify the reason, the existence of the decomposers. Why the decomposers are really very important? Right? Decomposers are really very important because they will be helping into clearing out the environment by consuming, right, the dead organisms, right? And that's how they plays a very important role. They'll be adding the nutrient back into the soil. Very good. Yes. So CFCs are, they are really very harmful, and they'll be going up in the atmosphere, right? And they'll be reacting with the ozone. And if they react with the ozone, they'll be breaking the ozone layer, and that's why they are harmful. We know why the energy is always in the unidirectional flow, because it moves from one tropic level to another tropic level. So the tropic levels are in a unidirectional way, right? It's not that, for example, if I am consuming an apple, that I can give some energy to the apple. It's impossible, right? That's why it's a unidirectional flow, because I am getting energy from the apple. Yes. So that's the way we can write the answer. The flow of energy to food chain is unidirectional. Here we have the question. I think we recently asked that always the unidirectional. It's always unidirectional, and we have the reason for it. So you can mention this, right? You can take this point, and of course you can note it down. And over here we have, it's for 1 mark. Okay, everyone. I hope your energy is not down. My energy is not down. Come on. Quickly. We have to list 2 biotic components from the atmosphere, right, that we have over here. Biotic, the living components, we can mention about, we have humans, we have plants, we have microorganisms. All of these are the living components, right, or the biotic components. So we can mention them. And we have the plants that can make their own food. They utilize the sunlight. They take carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, their water, and of course, they make their own food, right? And we call them as the producers, or the autotrophs, because they can make their own food. right? It's a very easy answer. Humans, plants, microorganisms, very good. Yes, this is absolutely correct. And you can put it into the points, and this is how you can write. Okay, so there are a lot of gases, Prem, that are responsible for the global warming. You can mention about the carbon, carbon monoxide. You can mention about that. We have, you can mention about the nitric, right? The nitrogen gases that we have, sulfuric gases, right? SO2, NO2, all of these, which are released by the, basically by these different vehicles and the industries. Okay. Next question, everyone. Reuse is better than recycling. Easy. Why? We can easily reuse. Reuse is better than recycling of the material because, of course, when we're talking the 3 R's, we know that each of these are really very important. But if we actually reuse things, we can actually, we'll be reusing the material and there will be less involved of the energy. The energy consumption that we have to recycle things can be reduced. Yes? Are we clear, everyone, with this? Very good, Sebastian. Yes, it does. Okay. Thank you, Ravindra. Next question, everyone. I think just now someone asked that what is biological magnification? So when we talk about the biological magnification, it's nothing but the accumulation of the toxin in the tropic level, right? It's called as the biological magnification. Increase in the concentration of toxin in the food chain is the biological magnification. You can mention in this particular way, in the points, you can mention about the definition, how it will be getting accumulated. And you can mention that as there's an increase in the body mass, you will see the increase. What is the structure of ecosystem? We have the biotic and the abiotic components. They will be forming the structure. We have the different tropic levels. Each of that can be mentioned over here. Okay. Next question, everyone over here with us. It's a very easy question. We have to impact, if we remove the organisms from the tropic level, what will happen, right? And can the organism of any tropic level be removed without causing any harm? So what do you think about it? Right? So for example, if we have a food chain, right? If we have a food chain, if we remove the producers, of course, you'll see the lot of the organisms will be getting affected, right? So it's really very important to have every organism in the food chain. For example, if we remove the rabbit from here, it will be harming the food chain, right? So we have to be assured that every organism plays a very important role in the food chain and we cannot remove any of it. This question we already discussed, right? Yes. Yes, and with this, I would say, like after a long session, thank you so much for staying with us. Thank you so much, right? And after all of this, we are done with our session. Here's a homework question to you. You can definitely note it down, right? And yeah, we are done with it. How to conserve our motivation? You have to be motivated enough. The motivation is that if you're writing your examination, if you are well prepared, you will have good marks, right? You will be happy about it, that your hard work, it's your hard work which gave you the marks. Global warming, again, it's a very broad topic. So what happens in global warming? The temperature of the earth is increasing and it could be of various different reasons. First, we can talk about the pollution, right? As the temperature is increasing, as the pollution is increasing, the temperature of earth is increasing and that is causing the global increase in the temperature. And because of that, we have more of the, glaciers melting and so on. Yes. Okay, you're asking about this question, right? So the question was that if we remove, Senethil, if you're asking that, what will happen if we remove one organism? So if we remove one organism from the food chain, it will be affecting the whole food chain. In simple ways, you can write that. Okay. With this, everyone, we are done. Tomorrow, definitely, you have part 2 of the maths marathon. And we got you covered. Your exams are just around the corner. Believe in us. You did that and that's really very amazing. And you can try the free class trial link, right? Don't forget to do that. And don't forget to hit the like button. The like button actually means that you really love us, right? That's one way you can show us your love. And you can share with your friends and subscribe to our channel. It will be really great. Yes? Thank you so much, everyone. You will be getting the PPT, hopefully, right? You can definitely talk about it. We are actually working on it, so you will get it really very soon. Don't worry about it, right? Great, everyone. Good to see you, all of you here. I think I'll take a leave now, right? I'll take a leave, and lots of love to you. Lots of love. We'll see you soon, right? You can definitely try this free class trial link. And with that note, everyone, I'll see you tomorrow. Not tomorrow, I guess, in the next academic year, right? We'll be meeting in the next academic year. For the new students, definitely there are a lot of surprises for you, right? And for the old student, those who will be writing their 10th examination, we are here with you. Great. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us. I can see many of you writing the answers. I want you to write the answer in the comment section below after the video. On that note, everyone, thank you so much for being there with us throughout the session. Lots of love to you. I hope you enjoyed the session, and we'll meet soon. Hearts. I can see a lot of hearts. Hearts to each one of you. Bye-bye, everyone. Take care. Stay safe. Bye-bye.